Hey there, friends and foes. Good morning, multiverse. This is Back of the Cereal Box, the pop culture podcast that celebrates the fun of the Saturday mornings of our youth while surviving adulthood today. I am your host, the prophet of pop culture, John Pica, but you can call me Johnny. And this morning, we're talking Heroes on a Half Shell with Kate Hawkins, Ryan Permison, and of course, Willow Schuyler. And we're going to do that right after this from the Murdering Crows.
It's like Coca-Cola, Levi Strauss, Johnny Carson and Mickey Mouse. The first star was James Dean. Elvis Presley, yeah, he's still the king. Some things are only imitatable. You can't beat an original. Oh, you can't beat an original.
All right, that awesome theme song is performed by our good friends, the Murdering Crows. You can get their album, Four Bad Crows, at Amazon, Google, iTunes, wherever you buy music. And of course, we have to thank our Cereal Box super friends, Kate Hawkins, Eli Cash, Cindy Kep, Sharice Collins, Dave Mattingly. They help keep this network up and running, and they help this show bring you awesome broadcast excellence. You can join them and have your name in lights at buymeacoffee.com/cerealboxpod. And of course, brought to you this morning by the Tales of the Deckoverse series by yours truly, available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever you buy books. And volume 3 of the novel is coming out this summer. More on that when we get closer. Dun, dun, dun. Well, for those of you who are tuning in for the very first time, this show is called Back of the Cereal Box. We are a pop culture podcast that celebrates the fun of the Saturday mornings of our youth while surviving adulthood today, because adulting is hard. And we are called Back of the Cereal Box because when I was a kid, Saturday mornings meant big bowls of cereal, sitting down to watch cartoons, but we did not have iPhones or tablets at the breakfast table on Saturday mornings. We literally were reading the back of the cereal box. That was our newspaper. That was our world. That was a portal into pop culture. And in between bowls of cereal, we were watching cartoons, reading comic books, watching Godzilla movies, Kung Fu movies. And then at 12, Mom would kick us out of the house. We'd go down to the pool, ride our bikes down to the mall, and we'd be gone until the street lights came on. And we were doing incredibly dangerous things that today's kids only imagine in horror movies. But that was part of the fun of the Saturday of our youth. And speaking of which, all the way from snowy Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, my co-host, who is a lover of X-Men and comic books and superheroes, cosplayer extraordinaire. She is the Peppermint Princess, the social media socialite, my emotional support Canadian, the one, the only, Willow Schuyler. And Willow is prepared for our discussion of Ninja Turtles this morning. She's got the whole collection. She's got all 4 of them. Now, are those the NECA figures? Or are they Playmates? Do you know?
That's a good question.
When did you get them? And where did you get them?
They came out in 2012.
Okay, those are the Playmates then, I think. That's awesome. That's Willow's new loot.
I also have Bebop and Rocksteady.
Oh my gosh. So you're a fan.
Of course I am.
I
Did Uncle Phil Fresh Prince do the voice of Shredder?
Did he really?
Yes, he did.
See, okay. I'm just going to let everyone know up front that on this episode, Johnny is the Padawan. I am the learner in this episode today. So I am representing you, the audience watching, and I will ask questions and be amazed by some of the knowledge that is going to be shared. Now, Willow, I mentioned that you are a lover of comic books and superheroes, X-Men in particular. I forgot to mention. Oh, look at this! Look at this. Okay.
This
Willow,
is why I married my husband.
we found Willow's passion. See, I am passionate about Star Wars movies, Avengers comic books, and Saturday morning cartoons in general. That's what made me who I am today. But I love that Willow's showing off all of this awesome loot. And Willow, tell our audience how they can participate this morning.
All right, so during our live show, we have a chat option. You guys can ask questions. You guys can chime in on the conversation with who your favorite character is, and just like Zentron, sorry, who is saying good morning, good afternoon.
Well, I don't know where he is, but apparently it's in that. Yeah. And he said, this. I love it. I love it.
And then Andrew Milden is saying good morning.
Good morning,
Aubrey.
Good morning, Aubrey. Oh, look at all these people joining us. I love it. Well, so we need to welcome in our other two co-hosts. These are our experts. Well, Willow, you're an expert, but we brought in two other experts. I feel like this is like the scene from that science fiction movie where the general of the United States Army has to bring in a panel of experts. And so we brought our other cereal box friends.
Has anybody seen Pixels?
I love Pixels. We need to talk about that one day. So Willow, after we finish this Saturday Morning 101 series, we're going to do a Saturday matinee movie series.
Ooh.
Yeah, so Pixels, let's put that on the list.
Yeah.
We definitely want to talk about that. So let's welcome into the stream the living cartoon himself. He is a cartoon archaeologist, the host of Cartoon Commotion. He loves to dig in to cartoons of the past and put a fresh perspective on them. He is Cade Hawkins.
Hiya, friends. Hiya, Willow. Hiya, Johnny. How you doing?
We're doing great, Cade. Thank you for joining us. We are so excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here.
And also on the show is, well, I don't really know how to describe this guy. He's full of knowledge. He's full of energy. I call him the Jack Russell of geek culture, because if you set him loose without a leash, he's going to chase whatever rabbit until he just collapses. But we love him for that. He is a purveyor of all things geekdom. He is the host of Nerd Culture and I quote, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Ryan Permison.
Good morning,
do, brother.
I know. Yeah, that's a good question. But good morning. Good to see everybody. Good to see you all. This is going to be a Bossa Nova, Chevy Nova. Excellent conversation. So let's do it.
See what I mean? You see what I mean? So first question I got to ask everybody. Saturday morning, we're sitting down with cartoons. We're going to talk Ninja Turtles. But the important question is, and Willow, I should have put you in charge of the cards, because you know what? I lost my mouse.
Uh-oh.
So I'm having to use the trackpad. Has anyone ever gone from a mouse to the trackpad?
Oh, definitely me here. Yes.
It's a nightmare. Mm-hmm. So the question I have to ask Saturday morning, what's in the bowl? And Willow, I see you enjoying something as we dig into cartoons. What do you got this morning?
It is the remnants of my Reese's bunnies.
The Reese's fluffy bunnies. Cade, Ryan, are you guys enjoying any delicious, sweet, non-nutritious breakfast cereal this morning?
You go ahead. Go ahead, Ryan.
Before we did the show, I was having a Lego Maego buttermilk flavored waffle, so I'm good.
Ooh.
And what about you, Cade? Anything special this morning?
I had a peanut granola bar. And
All right.
yeah, I didn't have any cereal in the pantry.
Well,
That's fine.
You got to go
So-
shopping.
yeah. So, well, speaking of Reese's peanut butter
Ooh.
and just I don't know. Well, I'm going to ask this question: will it cereal? And here's what I got. I
Oh
got
yes.
Reese's dipped animal crackers.
Oh, I saw those in the store, and I was like, I want those so bad.
Yeah, these are the traditional animal crackers from your childhood,
Yes.
but they are covered with Reese's Pieces chocolate and peanut butter. I'm going to try them by themselves first. I've never had them.
Mhm.
All right, so you know how animal crackers by themselves taste kind of like baked cardboard?
Kinda.
They're not very good. They're crackers.
I liked them.
With the chocolate and the peanut butter, man, these sing. These are awesome. But we gotta ask, will they cereal? Will they go in a bowl with milk? And so I'm breaking them up.
Do you want to take a vote? Because I feel like they will.
Yes. You guys take a vote. Audience in the audience, post in the chat whether you think these Reese's coated animal crackers will work as cereal, because we're about to find out. And I'm breaking them up so that they're in smaller cereal pieces. So there you go. There you have it.
Ah.
And the milk will penetrate past that chocolate peanut butter shell.
Mhm.
And here we go. We'll pour the milk. And we're going to let it set for just a few seconds, kind of get in there. And,
This
I
is like a
feel like
cooking channel.
I know. Well, this is Saturday morning. This is my favorite time of the week, because this is when I get to cheat just a little bit, because the rest of the week I'm on a very strict, very restrictive diet. But Saturday morning, just like when we were kids, it's out the window, baby. Anything goes. All right, here we go. Ready for this?
No. Oh, he's in heaven.
So you know what this does? So the milk totally saturates that cracker and makes it almost mushy, but that outer chocolate and peanut butter coating keeps it all together. So you get that awesome, firmness, but I don't know how to describe it. It's like, well, no, I know how to describe it, but this is a family show.
Mhm.
Your cereal bowl combo here makes me want to get those TMNT cereal bowls that they had. They had like the whole bowl looked like a turtle.
Wow.
I
wanna
would love
get
that.
That's
I
a
would love that.
throwback. That'd be fun.
Well, so while we're talking about that kind of swag and prizes from the cereal box, that is the second big part of Saturday morning, when we reach into the box of cereal and pull out the prizes. And so to prepare for this morning's show, I was able to grab this. This is
Ooh.
the complete, Willow, pop that up there, center screen, if you would.
Absolutely.
This is the complete DVD set of the Ninja Turtle series that we're going to be talking about this morning. The original 10 seasons, all 193 episodes. I got it because I believe in owning physical media. And so I've been going through my childhood catalog and buying as much physical media as I can. And by the way, not a sponsor, but Walmart had this on sale for $24. And when you see the complete Ninja Turtle series on DVD at Walmart for $24, you have to buy it. I didn't want to, I had to. So that's my new loot this week, along with, and we'll be talking about these a little bit further down the line as we dig into our main topic, the Power Rangers Ninja Turtles series from IDW and the Saturday Morning Adventures series, also from IDW, because comic books are a big part of the show. Anybody else have any fun loot they want to show off? I know, Willow, you showed off the entire team of Turtles, Rocksteady and Bebop.
Nothing as far as new loot goes for this week, guys.
Well, I'm going to edit your showing off the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles into that segment. But Ryan,
I mean, I could show them off again.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, so my favorite character is Donatello. And me and my husband, we are just a little over the top nerdy when it comes to figurines and our favorite characters. And yes, I enjoy collecting all kinds of things.
Now, do you have those? Do you have those on display?
I do. I like Johnny. I like to open my toys so that I can play with them.
I love that.
Ryan? And if I have my nieces and nephews over, then they have something to play with as well. So,
every collector watching just had a heart attack that you let your nieces and nephews play with your
supervision.
Toys. I love that. I love that. Now, Ryan, do you have any Ninja Turtles swag, loot, collectibles? Do you have any figures? I know you have the Last Ronin comic book. Anything else Ninja Turtles in your abode?
Well, I don't have them to show them on screen, but I do have the NECA original 1990 movie Ninja Turtle figures, including Splinter, including April O'Neil, played by the incredible Judith Hoag. Judith, we love you. And also got this signed Funko Pop by one of the co-creators of TMNT, Kevin Eastman. He did a remark on this of Raphael, because Raphael is awesome. He's cool, but he's rude, as the theme song likes to tell us. So yeah, and you know what, Johnny? The truth of the matter is, I lost the sigh. Then it is gone. No, I can get it back. I can get it back. Raphael, let it go. Anyway, I can quote those movies all day long. So yeah, that's the one piece of loot I can show to you on camera. It's really nice, isn't it? I mean, I think it's really cool, personally. But there you go, Raphael. He's a bad blank motherfracker. So yeah, why not?
So I got to meet Kevin Eastman.
Of course you did, because I haven't met him yet.
And sit down with him and interview him at Indie PopCon, the very first Indie PopCon. And my son was 10 years old. And he went with me. And my son was like obsessed with the Turtles. And for me to sit down on the stage as a peer with Kevin Eastman elevated me to godhood status in my son's eyes. For a brief shining moment, I was the superhero my son needed. But Cade, what about you? Do you have any Ninja Turtles collectibles swag that you have in your cartoon world?
Yeah, I do. I can't put it up on screen right now because I don't have the pictures loaded, but I've got the complete series, the original, like you. And then I've got all of the original movies, all three, and the CGI one. That was, I think, from 2007. I have seen the entirety of 03, but it's really hard to get that show. It's really, really hard. Other than that, I got a lot of figures. I got some really high quality collectibles, and then I've got some that I do open. I've got the Turtle Van from the remake series. You know, they had that where they republished the figures. Reproductions, I guess you could call them. And they came, you can get all four of the original Turtles, and then they later came out with Splinter and Shredder and additionals, but I haven't gotten those guys yet. Just the Turtles. I do plan on getting them, but it's you got to get out to a store, got to find them when they're there.
And did I see you have like an entire wall of Turtles pops?
I have quite a few. I have some from the 87 show, but then most of them are from the movies.
Okay.
And I do plan to get all of the 87 show, but they're tricky to pick up. Like if you find them in a video reseller, you pick them up when you see them because they might not be there next time.
Wait, you're talking about the movies?
No, the cartoon ones. The cartoon pops.
Oh, the pop. Oh, you said video reseller. So.
Oh no, sorry.
You
Okay.
confused me for a minute. I had a brain cramp.
So I've got a video reseller. What is it called? It's a resale shop that I frequent, and they have an amazing collection of pops and loads of comic books. I've made loads of trades there, and I pick up all of my additional physical media there as much as possible.
Well, that is awesome. So I love that. I love that you, Ryan, you, Cade, and you, Willow, are experts in the Ninja Turtles because I'm going to admit there's something to you. I never watched the original series growing up. For whatever reason, the Ninja Turtles never really resonated with me. They came out at a time when I was the right age. I was the right demographic. I had read the comics. I actually have the first 3 issues of the original black and white Eastman and Laird comic series from Mirage Studios. And I don't know, even as because they came out when I was in high school. And even then, I thought the Turtles were ridiculous.
Okay.
So they never like resonated with me. I never got into the show. I have seen episodes of the original series because I've gone back now and watched it for this show. And I did have a son who was obsessed with the Ninja Turtles. And here's what I didn't realize until we were researching the show. I didn't realize there were so many different series.
Oh, yeah.
How do you keep up with all of the different iterations? I'm just like, what? Maybe this might be the one IP that is the hardest to get into late. Because where do you begin?
I mean, I don't know, because like I came in kind of backwards.
Well, I know you did, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But so I've seen the TMNT movie, the CGI movie. I did see that, enjoyed that a lot. Took my son to see it when it was in the theaters, and I've seen both of the Michael Bay movies, which I actually enjoyed. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But so I'm coming into this. Really, I don't have that much history with the Turtles. I have no Turtles collectibles. I don't have a single action figure. Nothing. So you guys are definitely the staff experts, and I love that. I love that. So, but before we dive into the show, we got a ton of viewer comments that we need to get to. And Willow, I'm going to let you click through these because I'm working with the trackpad, and it's just cramping my hand.
All right, so good morning, Dave Mattingly.
Dave Mattingly, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Box Tops. We said good morning to Aubrey, right?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
We did. Aubrey is watching. I'm so excited about that.
Dave Mattingly with just when you thought it was safe to get into the Decoverse, a third novel.
Ta-da!
Zentron, annoying fact here in the UK back in the 80s and until recent years, the show was called Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. Yes, I remember that. And Mikey's nunchucks were edited out. Yes.
Really?
I remember watching a thing on that about Ninja Turtles. It was, they had to edit it out because they needed to make it safe for children.
But swords and size are okay, and shredders, what?
A friend
Okay.
of mine, Serial Geek TV, he did a video about that. So if you need some clarity, there's a whole thing on his channel.
If you guys see me throwing stuff, I'm trying to get my cat off the counters.
Apparently, the word ninja was kind of I just illegal to use or something. Like they couldn't use ninja. I don't know why.
Yeah, Canada and England or Britain or Europe had a thing where we wanted to make things a little bit more family friendly.
What was it? A fear of like a racial stereotype or something, or but
Much like trying to keep kids from going down to the sewers and hurting themselves.
I thought it had more to do with like them being because ninjas are kind of like assassins, so it kind of probably has a little more to do with that. I think I'm not
yeah,
sure.
because in America in the 80s, this I do know. I am a ninja expert.
Booyah.
Ninjas were they were superheroes in America when I was a kid. They were not assassins. They were like superheroes. Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow and Shokasuji and Enter the Ninja and Ninja 3 the Domination. Oh my god. What you know what? Ryan, you're nodding your head like you know what I'm talking about. Or are you just nodding your head because you're like, oh, finally Johnny knows something about a topic that we're talking about this morning?
No. I'm just listening intently. I'm hearing what you're saying. I hear you.
I love it. But why would they edit out the nunchucks? Someone's got to comment and let or Kay, do you know? Just in a bite size answer. Do you
I
know
don't
why?
see anything in the comments.
Actually, I don't think there was like a reason. I guess it was just specifically nunchucks they didn't want on screen. I
They did the same in the 90s. They edited a little indie show I heard of called Power Rangers. They didn't want kids beating up on each other, so they edited out the punching and the kicking, and they edited out some of the weapon sequences in the early seasons, of course. And then they eventually wise up and just let things go. But
okay.
Well, they always punched and kicked the putties.
Well, yeah, but like they edited out certain stuff in the early seasons of Power Rangers that I heard about, and I'm just thinking to myself, look, would I feel like laying the smackdown on some of the bullies I suffered through when I was in kindergarten or first grade? Yeah, but I didn't do it. I can still watch Power Rangers and understand the difference between fantasy and reality.
Restrictions on action violence are very complicated.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so. I know
that could be a
They
show.
seem to make up their own rules for certain things, though. Like they'll let some things slide, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, we can't have this.
Like, I'm not sure why you're allowed to like do a somersault and land on the guy's head and then kick him, but you can't punch.
Anyway, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's a show within itself.
Yeah, we could have a show just about that. All right, what other audience comments do we have?
We have Colin Hawkins. Good morning, Saturday friends. I love X-Men. Yes, I do.
Good call.
Good show.
The greatest of all time.
Dave Mattingly with now Johnny is the noob.
That is right. But I'm smart enough to surround myself with other experts.
He's smarter than the average noob.
Andrew says Zentron and the Swords were
That's what I'm saying.
I know. Zentron says nope, swords were a-okay.
Yeah,
Hey.
I mean they're only katanas. Come on.
I mean, look, we can
I like
impale
swords.
each other, but we can't bop each other on the head with pieces of wood. What?
The
Hey,
boast.
these are the same people who thought that Looney Tunes was too violent.
Perhaps.
Well, listen, Looney Tunes is way too violent. I'm just gonna say.
Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner, anyone?
Perhaps like parents thought it was easier to obtain nunchucks than katanas.
Well, that was actually true in the 80s. So you could go down to the flea market or down to like an army surplus store and you could buy nunchucks because they just were pieces of wood with a cord or a chain. You didn't have to be 18 to buy those. You had to be 18 to buy throwing stars and knives and swords. But nunchucks, you could just pick them up or order them through mail order. The AWA catalog. Does anyone remember the AWA, AWWA catalog in our audience? Some people in the audience know what I'm talking about, and they're like, "Oh, I remember that. Oh, that was so epic." But yeah, I mean, there was no restrictions on buying nunchucks, and everyone on my block, even the girls, had nunchucks, and we were all imitating Sho Kasuja and Bruce Lee, and I mean that was a real thing. So that's probably where that comes from. Is parents groups in the '80s were like, "Oh, we're sick of our kids going to the emergency room with a concussion because they're imitating these superheroes. We're not going to have it on Saturday morning too."
Oh goodness, the superhero restrictions. Oh, there's so many things we could talk about in regards to like Super Friends and everything.
That's like a 6-8 hour show within itself.
Yeah.
The comic code censoring it definitely took hold in the
Yeah, what was
80s and
it?
90s.
Is it the CCA, Comic Code Authority? Is that what it was?
So speaking about what I just said, Aubrey just said, I found a set of nunchucks last weekend at a yard sale. Exactly.
Great, you become Michelangelo now. That's great. There you
That's
go.
right.
gotta have a
Oh,
chuck off,
fellow
man.
trucker, eh?
Yeah, you gotta have a chuck off.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
We have so many comments. I think we have more comments right now before we've even gotten into the main topic than we've ever had, Willow.
Yeah.
This is like a wave, and we're
really
gonna
is.
get to
It's bodacious, is what it is.
we're gonna get to as many
Most
of
excellent.
them as we can.
Grizzly Adams here is, I have a sword, Aubrey. Do you want to fight the foot with me?
It's the foot. Yes.
So, funny story. I actually have a ninja sword under my bed
What?
for
Wow.
defense.
There you go.
There's a shotgun and a ninja sword.
You are
Great.
prepared.
Yes.
For all comers, I suppose.
So if someone breaks into the house, they're going to get a load of buckshot in the chest, and then their head's going to be taken off like Highlander.
I'm not
Okay.
sure if
I'm
you're
the only
prepared for. Are you prepared for like a zombie invasion?
He is.
Yeah,
Yep.
I am.
Well,
I
that
am.
among other things, but yes.
Well, so you got to understand, when I grew up, the Red Menace, the Red Scare, was a real thing. Red Dawn was one of the biggest movies ever. And going into high school, me and my buddies, we were convinced that Red Dawn was not just a work of fantasy, but it was a prophetic work of what was going to happen in the future. And so we started a paramilitary organization to prepare for the impending Russian invasion of America.
Wow.
Listen, I've got some hardcore stories, but we're here to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Heroes in a Half Shell, Turtle Power.
Yeah.
We totally missed it, but I wanted to do like the turtle power all at the same time.
It's all
That's
good,
all right.
man.
We
It's all
got
good.
as close as we could get on a live stream show. But
Yeah.
let's see. Leonardo Lee Donatello does machines.
That's a fact, Jack.
Raphael is cool but rude.
Rude, give me a break.
Michelangelo is a
It's a
party dude. All right, so let's dissect them here. So Leonardo is in blue.
Mm-hmm.
Donatello is in purple.
Mm-hmm.
We got Raphael in red, and Michelangelo in orange.
Yep.
Now, you guys know that originally they all wore the same color.
Yes.
All red.
Yeah, and I only know that because I read those original comic books. And the interior art was all black and white, but the covers were in color. So they were all red, and there was no way to tell them apart other than the weapons that they used. But the cartoon comes along, and they color code them, and they put their initials on their belts, kind of like their initials on a little kid's underwear. I love that. That's so cute.
I think it was mainly like to make it more recognizable for kids. Like
Oh yeah, absolutely.
just tell them apart better because like they're all the exact same color.
Well, absolutely. And so the series comes out in what year, Cade?
1987.
That was a great year.
It was.
It
Yeah.
was. One of us on this panel was born that year.
Dun dun dun!
I know. Woo! I was born 87, so I was made for this.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I was 17 years old.
Good for you, Johnny. Age
Maybe-
is just a number.
So you know what? For some reason, Cade, I thought this came out initially. I thought this came out later, in the 90s. But then when I started researching, I was like, no, it was much earlier.
Right.
And then I was thinking it was earlier, like 80, 85. But now you've corrected me, 87.
84 was the comic, so that's probably what
Yeah.
you're thinking.
Yeah, it is. It is.
84 was the comics. 84 was the Karate Kid. 87 was the year of yours truly, and also it was the year that what was it? Star Trek: The Next Generation premiered too in 87.
It was the year of the turtle.
Well, among other things in pop culture. Let's be honest, but yes.
But turtles were there.
Well, and the Turtles became a pop culture sensation.
Pop culture phenomena, really.
They called it Turtle Mania.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I remember back in the day, I was like, really? I didn't get the turtle thing. But for those of you who don't know anything about the Ninja Turtles, you have the 4 turtles that, as little baby turtles, are irradiated with radioactive ooze. And according to actual canon, it is the radioactive material that robbed Matt Murdock of his sight and turned him into Daredevil.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
The Turtles
Oh.
and Daredevil share a birthday. Okay,
That is right.
Born.
That is
that-
interesting.
I did
Did
not
you-
know that.
You guys didn't know that? So
Well, I knew about the
I love
parodies
Daredevil.
of Daredevil in the comic because they did some parody material work in there, but I had no idea that the ooze was the same.
Yeah. The ooze is the same, and the whole idea. And I know this because I've interviewed Kevin Eastman. The whole idea behind the property was they wanted to write Daredevil, but they were kids, so they thought of a way to do a Daredevil adjacent show, and like the Foot Clan in comics, in Daredevil comics, they're known as the Hand.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. That
And yeah, so and in Daredevil, there's a character called Stick that
And-
trains Matt Murdock, and in the cartoon series, they are trained by Splinter,
Splinter.
the rat, who is also irradiated by the radioactive ooze.
Ooze. Yeah.
Now, specifically in this cartoon, technically he's Hamato Yoshi that
Mhm.
was mutated into a rat.
Yeah.
Oh, but was he mutated into a rat by the ooze?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, same ooze,
So
yep.
the ooze hit him, and he was holding rats because the rats became his friends in the sewer.
Mhm.
And then it just so happened that the turtles fell down the sewer around the same time, and he befriended the turtles because they were all helpless and alone. So he picked them up, and the ooze that was on him also touched them, and because he was a human, they mutated into human-like turtles.
Oh, okay. I'm learning something new here. All right. And along the way, they team up with colorful characters like Casey Jones.
Oh, I love him.
Class is
Why-
Pain 101.
So, I've got an issue with Casey Jones, and my issue is he just a regular guy who runs around with a hockey mask and golf clubs and a baseball bat and a hockey
And cricket.
stick?
So-
Cricket sticks, too.
So what Kevin Eastman said was that he wanted a vigilante who was literally just crazy.
Okay.
So, like,
works.
essentially in this variation of the Turtles, Casey is literally just a maniac. Like in the comic, he is a maniac that put on, he was watching TV and everything in New York was going to pot. So he's like, I got to go out and make this city a better place. And he's a crazy hero.
You have failed this city.
Yeah. And it's actually the Turtles that kind of keep him in line. So
Oh, kind of the way I keep Ryan in.
now, the cool
Oh,
thing, Casey's actually even cooler in the 03 show because he's kind of more like the movie version of Casey.
All
He's
right,
a little
so
bit more like that.
I never saw the movies. the live action movies. I know. Vanilla Ice is in the second one, right?
Second one,
Yes.
yeah. He composes the ninja rap, yeah.
Yeah. Go Ninja, go Ninja,
go, yeah.
go Ninja, go. Yeah,
go.
I know it because it was on the radio. But
All the time.
I don't know. That whole movie was. I know I should on paper I should love the Ninja Turtles movies because
I love 'em.
the costumes were made by Jim Henson Studios. And
They're
had
amazing.
They had the animatronic mouths.
There was no CGI as much back then, so they went realistic and stylistic, and boy, did they succeed in spades.
But you know what? Those costumes creeped me out.
What?
No, I
okay,
accept them
okay.
for what they were.
I can
They were
actually,
fantastic.
I can understand that as like a newcomer, but like after you start watching, they just become so wholesome and familiar that there's no separation from your best friend.
They're
They're
so
like
good.
your buddies.
It was Jim
The-
Henson, man.
All right. Willow's chomping
The
in the bit. She's
movies-
got to jump in here.
The movies were well done. The TV show, however, the suits in the TV shows in the 90s
no.
were just terrible.
Wait. There was a live action TV show?
Yes.
If you were a Fox Kids kid, like some of us here were, then yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
How did I not know this? I didn't even find that
Because
doing
it only
research.
lasted one season.
You saved your sanity there, Johnny.
Yeah.
Were they the same costumes?
No.
No,
Different
very
studio,
different.
different crew members, different cast members, different producers and writers. It was a completely different ball game.
Well, but wait, don't I remember that the guy who played Michelangelo in the movie did do Michelangelo in the TV show? Am I
think he did.
misremembering this?
Are you talking about the original movie to the cartoon?
Well, I don't know.
No, I mean,
'cause that's
he's
a no.
referring to Robbie Rist, who
That's-
did it in the original live action movies. Was he the voiceover of Mikey in the 94, 95, or 97, 98 actually?
It's-
97, 98 live action series? No, I don't think Robbie Rist had anything to do with it.
See, this is why I, even after I became exposed to the Turtles through my son, I never took a deep dive because I feel
There's
like
too
this
much.
is a hard franchise to get into as a newbie. But here is one thing that fascinated me watching the first couple of episodes. This is April O'Neil,
Yes.
and I didn't remember April O'Neil being so ample. If I had known this, and can we talk about Mikey's gaze?
This image is so inappropriate for a children's series. It's so inappropriate.
And not just that, but apparently not only her, top was ample, but can we talk about that figure? I mean,
I can't wait till we talk about X-Men because that's even more beautiful.
Well, yeah.
you know what? I think I might be a Turtles fan now, just to watch April O'Neil.
But here's the thing, okay? Those actual suits were not that flattering.
If it helps you, Johnny, I am going to have a sit-down conversation with the voiceover actress of April O'Neil in about
Renee Jacobs?
Yeah, that's right. Month and a half, 2 months here at a convention where I am in town. See, this is the beauty of living in North Carolina.
Ooh.
You get all the good things in North Carolina. You really do. So Renee Jacobs is going to be here at a Comic-Con, and it's a small venue, small event, but I'm going to be there, obviously. And I'm going to ask her, hey, have you seen this meme that's been going around for 40 years about Mikey looking at you in a very unorthodox way?
You know what? I didn't know it was a meme.
Yeah.
I just happened to find that image, and I was like,
Yeah, people have used it for their evil, very evil purposes. But maybe I can ask Renee Jacobs about it and say, hey, Renee, are you familiar with certain things that happened on the show? And Mikey was looking at you very oddly.
well, I think this frame is where the phrase "male gaze" comes from.
Probably. I
During the
guess.
show, the Turtles did fight over her on occasion.
Yeah, but I think Mikey was the
Yeah,
one
but
that had
that-
the biggest crush on her out of all.
That
He
was also in
definitely did.
the movie.
He was crushing on her pretty hard.
He
So,
definitely did.
Between the four of them, they all had a thing for April.
A little.
Well, Mikey was the one who's like clearly obsessed with her. So,
Really,
yeah.
I would be too. I mean, look at that figure.
Yeah, but
Let me
turtle
just say
human
this.
relationships don't tend to work out very well.
Probably not. But
No.
But Willow, this is a cosplay with your name all over it.
You keep coming up
I've
with
been
cosplays
looking
for her.
for a yellow jumpsuit to.
Good luck
to
finding
portray.
one of those.
I almost got lucky a couple times here and there, but
You may have
I've
to make
also
one from scratch.
I've also been looking for a flight suit to portray the woman from Aliens. So.
Oh, you mean
Ripley.
Ripley? You gonna drop a little aliens lines on people when they get too close to your friends?
Everybody watching, everybody listening, Willow would be an outstanding April O'Neil.
Yeah.
And she just needs to find a yellow jumpsuit.
I would agree with that.
You can help make that happen with a donation at buymeacoffee.com/cerealboxpod. Listen, if we get enough people to contribute, that
I
we
will
can
get
get
one
you a
made
jumpsuit.
by my friend who has her own sewing company.
And you know what? We will make sure that there is a professional photography session as Willow as April O'Neil. Everyone right now
Make my dream come true.
can make it happen. That would be epic. And that banner is down below. So if you want to jump over there and contribute to the show right now, that would be awesome. Now, Cade, tell us about this frame.
Okay. Yeah. So I do think that this should be addressed. There's been a lot of people that have told me that the show went majorly downhill after the first season, which the first season was the first 5 episodes. It aired like a mini series, like G.I. Joe or Transformers. So if you want to watch the entirety of the first season, it's very easy. It's just 5 episodes. And this is the first episode. This takes place at the climax of the first episode, where you can clearly see there's okay, maybe you can't. I should point it out. There's a minor animation error here.
Minor?
Yeah, just a little double Leo and double Raph and maybe a missing Michelangelo.
Well, there's 5 turtles here.
Yeah, there's 5 turtles, and one of them's not even the right turtle. So you've got 2 Raphaels, 2 Leonardos, 1 Donatello, 1 April O'Neil, and a missing Michelangelo on the rooftop going into the Foot Clan. I guess you could call it a headquarters. This is above the Technodrome. This is all taking place in the first episode. And if you blink, you miss it. But I got this screenshot to point out that the series was always goofy, it was always flawed, and it did not take a serious nosedive after the first season. I mean, this is proof that it had errors, it had mistakes. A legend is allowed to make mistakes, ladies and gentlemen. A legend is allowed to make mistakes.
I mean, if we're really gonna go down the rabbit hole of Ninja Turtles or go down the sewer drain, come on. Okay, so Raphael later on in the series had a girlfriend who was a lizard.
Wow.
Does nobody remember her?
Well, that's reptile to reptile. Look, Zentron makes a good point, and he's backing up Ryan here. Where did it go? Here, human turtle relationships do work with the 34th rule.
I have no idea what that means.
Rule 34.
I have
LOL.
no idea what that
Do
means.
not Google that.
All right. If you want to explain it to me off camera, go right ahead.
Yeah, we'll
Okay. I have no idea what that means.
Hey, Aubrey, who is watching, says if you find a way to get one, talking about a jumpsuit, I'll definitely buy one. I love the cosplay as April.
Go for you, Aubrey.
Aubrey is here in Middle Tennessee, and she would be a perfect April O'Neil as well. Actually, Aubrey, she does a great Poison Ivy, but I would love to see Aubrey do Mary Jane Watson.
MJ. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
She'd be great.
Boy, you covered 3 different fandoms there. I like it.
That's what I do.
Yeah. Go for it, Aubrey.
Yeah, and Grizzly Adam says, don't Google, Ryan. Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah. All right. I'll let Willow tell me off camera.
Turtles
Anyway.
could do a crossover with Spider-Man pretty easily. New York.
Absolutely.
Different
Well,
comic companies, different properties.
well,
Nah.
no, it doesn't matter. They've done multiple crossovers with Batman. They've did 3
True.
miniseries with Batman.
They did it
They,
with the Power
they
Rangers,
crossed over with the Power Rangers,
which
which
was
by the
great.
way is a great series.
Mhm.
This is the second series, issue number 1, and I realized that I haven't read this yet. That I loved the first series. I have the trade paperback, and so I picked up issue number 1 of the second series, and for whatever reason, I discovered I haven't read it yet. So I'm going to probably read this afternoon.
Lovely.
I on these series, I'm kind of a wait for the trade guy.
Mhm.
I did pick up the first issue of the Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures cartoon series, which is basically like watching the cartoon on Saturday mornings.
Wow.
But again, I only got the first issue and the free comic book day edition, and waiting for the trade. But you know what I thought was epic, and this has the rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as the second story. Is this the current series that's on
It
TV?
is. Yes.
And
Well, it's kind of been canceled, sorta.
okay, I hate the character models. Can we-
Yeah.
tell me about this, Cade.
Oh,
Okay, so I have a minor negative opinion on that.
that's terrible.
So my biggest gripe with the more recent TMNT is that all the characters are kind of the same. There's not a whole lot of, because like even in the original series, you had Leo leads, Mikey's the fun party guy. This is kind of like they're all Michelangelo, and they don't have a lot of distinct personality traits.
But their physical traits are very
Why do
distinct.
they look so boxy?
So originally, I thought it was cool that they were based off of different turtles, but over time, it got to be kind of like so far removed from like their actual personalities that it felt unfamiliar. And so, like, I can I mean, people can enjoy it, they can like it, but I don't.
Hey, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. So, and that's on Nickelodeon, Rise of the Teenage Mutant. I didn't know Nickelodeon was still a thing.
I think the biggest issue I have with the series is what they did with Splinter. Because Splinter in this series was Hamato Yoshi became a rat, and in the same sense became like a rat in Rise. But the difference is that in Rise, he actually resented being turned into a rat. And in the original 87 series, he actually accepted his place
He
as
embraced
Splinter.
it, yeah.
And he did that for the sake of his family. I mean, he wanted to keep that family together. He loved them. So it's like, it's far removed from the personalities and aspects of this series. And that's the thing, Ryan. I know you earlier you were saying like this show isn't necessarily for me, and that's fine. But like the 87 Turtles may not be as like epic as all the other turtles, like the movies and the 2003 series, but it has that same wholesome heart and charm that it feels like they're supposed to have. It's like where they began. And of course, I know they didn't begin with they began a little bit more intense in the comics, but what we're talking about is the original cartoon.
Yeah, and I think this frame that I just popped up is the 2000 cartoon versus the TMNT CGI movie.
No, that's the 2012 crossover.
Oh,
Yeah, so they had a crossover in 2012, Nickelodeon's 2012 series.
oh.
And they had CG in that, and they tried to cross over the animation styles. I still haven't gotten to see that, but I really want to.
Now I know there's like a Turtles in Time crossover where they cross over with the black and white turtles. Is that what
no.
this is?
No. That's okay. A lot of fans would debate this, but what you just described is what I believe is the best Turtles movie ever.
Okay.
It's called Turtles Forever,
Okay.
and it's basically the series finale to the '03 show.
Okay.
And it combines 87, '03, and '84.
Okay.
All of them.
Talk about a multiverse of madness.
No, that's like the multiversal turtle movie.
Well, Okay, so I've got something else I need to watch.
Apparently,
Now-
you and I both do because I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh, it's great, man.
Now here is a side by side comparison between
Oh.
the '87 cartoon and the Michael Bay
Bay.
movies. Now, I loved the way the turtles were created and the way they looked and the very distinct personality differences in the modern movies. I thought they looked the way turtles would really look if they had been mutated into a human form, because they would be horrifying. And
Well, the only trouble I had was like their proportions were like massive
well,
in
but they would
comparison.
be.
Well, not necessarily.
Look, have you ever seen a snapping turtle in the wild?
Yeah,
They're gigantic.
yeah.
I mean,
I've had to move them off the road before.
well, those are the small ones. You couldn't move a full grown one. I mean, I'm talking about they're as big as me. They're huge.
Right.
They're horrific.
I've seen one at the zoo that was like it wasn't really a snapping turtle, but it was a size of a boulder.
That was it. An alligator turtle,
I really don't remember, but
like with a bat nose.
you gotta understand these turtles though came from a pet shop,
Uh,
and they're
okay.
all like the same turtle, at least in the initial concept.
Jeez.
So like
Okay,
the
that's
growth
fair.
the growth of the turtles is a little extreme. We're
Okay.
talking like from teenagers to high school jacks. There's a difference. Maybe actually I'd push it even further. Maybe NBA players, like the size of them.
Well, maybe there were steroids in the ooze.
I mean, I
Steroids.
I like the idea that they kind of rely on the ninjutsu more than the super strength, because what they are is honorable fighters, not just mutants.
Well, but see, gets back to the name change between Ninja Turtles and Hero Turtles, because traditionally in history, ninja are not honorable heroes. They're not
Right.
honorable fighters. They are conniving little assassins that do not play fair. They do not play by the rules. They have no Bushido code.
Right.
They have no honor.
And these cartoons, at least 87 and 03, as far as I know, completely adapted the idea of that code, and they applied it to a family principle. So like,
So really, they should have been samurai turtles.
well,
not
I mean,
Ninja Turtles.
they do befriend a samurai later.
Yeah, Usagi Yojimbo.
Yes. And he's a great character, especially in 03, but I love his design in the 87 show.
See, and further evidence that they could do a crossover with Spider-Man, because Usagi Yojimbo was created by Stan Sakai,
Mm-hmm.
completely separate of Mirage Studios and the Ninja Turtles universe. But he was introduced to the Ninja Turtles universe as a cooperative crossover kind of thing. That I know because it's comic book history.
Yeah.
But here's the question that I have about this, and it left me.
Uh-oh.
Where did it go?
Is
No,
about
here.
Usagi?
No, well, yeah, kind of. So why is it that every other hero or villain that the Ninja Turtles meet in this series, with the exception of Casey Jones and April O'Neil, is some kind of mutated animal or human animal hybrid?
Well,
How many of them? How many vials of ooze got out? How many of them are running around the world unchecked?
okay.
Not enough
So
originality.
Shredder's not a mutant. Shredder's a regular guy that just has like armor on, and he's got blades. I mean, he's a ninja master, but he's not.
But
He's
please
not a
explain
mutant.
Krang.
Krang is from Dimension X.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, the way I saw, okay, so in 03, Krang was called, it was from the Utrom race, which is from the comics, Johnny.
Mm.
And in the 87 show, Krang is from a place called Dimension X, which is like, I guess, just a parallel universe that's like terrible, and he took it over.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, crossover clash up here.
Mhm.
What if Dimension X is the fifth dimension from Buckaroo Banzai?
Okay. Okay. Could be. But what I know is that, like, Shredder like discovered it. I haven't gotten far enough to give you the full details on their relationship, but I know that he takes orders from Krang all the time.
A giant brain in a robot body suit.
So, which to me is ridiculous.
Well, he needed Shredder to build the robot body because his, like, I guess, wasn't good enough.
But why would Shredder agree to work with a bodiless brain
Simple.
from another dimension?
It's really simple. Really simple. Krang has the tech.
Well,
So-
obviously he doesn't. He needs Shredder to build the tech.
Krang doesn't have the body to build with, but Krang has all the stuff. So, like, I guess during the war or whatever, his body was destroyed, but he got in touch with Shredder, who became like his super lackey. And
But that makes no sense to me. Shredder could just stomp on Krang and squish him. Why would he
Shredder
be subservient to a bodiless brain?
Shredder's tough, but he doesn't have the brains to build all this stuff.
I guess I have the same problem with in the DC Comics universe. Monsignor Moolah, the gorilla, who is subservient to the brain, is the villain's name. If you ever watch Doom Patrol, you'll see what I'm talking about. Or
I remember the brain.
Yeah, they were the villains in the New Teen Titans series by Marv Wolfman and George Perez. But it never made any sense to me. Why would this silverback gorilla, intelligent, sentient silverback gorilla, take orders from a bodiless brain in a robot body? Never made any sense to me.
So in the '03 show, they kind of did the whole Utrom thing way better, I think, because it was actually closer to the comic books. But the '87 show, I think, adapted it well enough for kids to understand, and it just kind of kept with it.
We let a lot of things slide in our childhood without questioning.
We turned our brains off all 10 seasons of this original Ninja Turtle series.
Why overthink it, right? Why overthink? Because, like, the simplicity of the bad guy and the henchman doing things that literally spoil their own plans is an '80s staple.
And the other thing is that bothered me about the '87 series is that every time Shredder and his cronies come out of the ground with the drills and all that stuff, who repairs the damage? Like, how does the city all of a sudden become refreshed and rebuilt within 20 minutes?
Oh, okay. So there is a little bit of an explanation for that. Believe it or not. So long as it's in the ground, there's like a spot on the back of the ship. I noticed this in the last episode I watched. There's a spot on the back of the drill that like pumps dirt back up as they're digging, so like people can't follow them.
But
but the street is still
concrete and buildings are destroyed. Like, they're gonna notice, hey, someone's destroyed half a city block.
Do you want to get technical? There was one time where a building shrunk on a guy. Like, he was stuck inside and they had to pull him out because he was too big. It was closing in around him.
That's weird.
You see, the thing I like about this show is the '80s cheese charm. There's a lot of '80s cheese charm in this, and it's comparable to that of G.I. Joe, but G.I. Joe did it better because it had like more seriousness in it. There was more drama. This is like less drama and more cheese.
Yeah.
So I got a question. So this series, the original '87 series, was created by Fred Wolf Films, who I've never heard of before and I've not heard of since. Does anyone know if they've ever done anything else?
Well, I know that like he's associated with other things, but like this was his big project. This was like his big thing.
I did see in the documentary The Toys That Made Us, nobody wanted to bank on the Turtles.
Nope.
No, like me, they thought it was a ridiculous idea.
It's a joke.
But Fred Wolf apparently was an uber fan of the comics, and he made this like his passion project to bring the cartoon series to life. Thank God for him, because it's a cultural phenomenon. But here, the other question I have is watching this and watching the opening sequences with the theme song, it seems remarkably similar to the Thundercats.
That's because it is. That's because it is.
Okay.
It was animated by Toy Animation. That would be like the same people who did various animes. The art for Real Ghostbusters, G.I. Joe, and Transformers.
Okay. So the similarities that I did not imagine that.
Mm-mm.
I mean, some of the poses and some of the way that they leap into the air and the way the weapons spin, I was like, I've got to find a side-by-side comparison of the Thundercats opening and the Ninja Turtles opening. I haven't found it yet. I'm
No,
still looking.
You are right on the money, Johnny. You're right on there. That's exactly right. And Toy Animation actually, I believe, did most of the animation for the first 5 episodes. And then, like, the rest went to in-house with Fred Wolf. And I'm not sure exactly where that was, but Fred Wolf, I think, is American. They might have outsourced the animation.
Fred Wolf Animation did Puff the Magic Dragon.
Well, there you go.
The animation.
I remember watching that as a kid. As
He
a
also
little
worked.
kid.
They also worked on the Chipmunks Rocking Through the Decades.
Okay.
Oh, really?
A bunch of other stuff. Yeah.
Well, according
Okay,
to our
I'm
friend
looking at the-
Zentron in the chat, he says Toy Animation did the animation for Dungeons and Dragons back in the day.
I believe so, yeah.
Fun fact. Way to go, Zentron.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Zentron. And Dave Mattingly adds Fred Wolf also produced the DuckTales and James Bond Jr. series and the Toxic Crusaders movie.
Well, there
Really?
you go. I didn't know that.
DuckTales, yes. James Bond, the junior part anyway, I could care less. Toxic Crusader, I could care less. But DuckTales, that's a good one.
DuckTales. Ooh.
And Dave Mattingly talking about my question about Monsignor Mala. He says Mala is smart and capable, but not a technological genius or mastermind schemer. The brain fills that role. Okay, so I guess it's the same thing with Shredder and Krang.
Very much so. Shredder will often contact Krang and be like, well, basically, I messed it up again. And Krang would be like, you idiot, and then he'll send in a reinforcement. Yeah.
Yeah, in this version, this is a weird way of looking at it. Shredder was Rita Repulsa, Krang was Lord Zed. There you go. That's the problem.
There you
That's
go.
the situation.
All right, so before we leave, a couple of questions. So in the comics, they introduced a 5th turtle, a girl turtle named Jenica. Has Jenica been introduced in any of the animated or live action franchises?
No, but they did do a version of a woman turtle in one of the shows.
It was Teenage
in the
Mutant
90s.
Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation, and her character name was Venus de Milo.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
The sad things
That's-
I know about this series.
Johnny, that's the one with the suits that weren't so great.
Okay. So they did. Okay. Second question. And it left me. As soon as I had it, it was gone.
Poof, there it is, gone.
Poof.
We just missed it. It was just a bit outside.
The train has derailed.
Jenica, the 5th turtle. I don't know.
Did you enjoy any specific part of the episodes that you watched, Johnny?
I love the intro. Yeah, I mean,
I love the 60 seconds of each episode.
well, look, that's maybe the most important part of the show because it sets the entire table for what to expect.
That's
Gives you
true.
the whole premise right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a trailer.
It really is.
And I loved it. I love the animation. The theme song is classic. Even though I was never a fan of the show, I know the theme song almost by heart because it so completely penetrated into pop culture.
That's
Everyone
true.
was walking around singing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
A definitive 80s cartoon staple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oddly enough, I remember Oprah Winfrey having the movie Turtles on her show for an interview.
Barbara Walters did too.
And then they had a live action musical like stage performance
Mm-hmm.
coming
Yeah,
out of their
what?
coming out of their Shell tour.
Yep.
Wait, was this like on
Yeah.
the show or this was a real thing?
Oh, I'm blowing your mind right now, Johnny. I love it.
I could have told him
I
this
love
too.
it. Well, I know you could have, but we're
Yeah.
choosing to do it now.
The touche. But yeah,
That was fun.
there was a live action concert series. It's lame. It's terrible.
Well,
Wait,
there was a
was
lot of
it-
people that like the music, I guess.
Mm.
Wait, so it was just a concert series or was it a musical story?
No,
Like
no,
a
it was
Broadway
like a.
musical.
Okay, so they were capitalizing on Turtle Mania, and they
Mhm.
made it into a rock concert.
It was a road show. Yeah.
So it wasn't really a show.
See, I could dig a Broadway musical.
It was a
Huh?
marketing ploy.
Yeah, but it was just it's just like of the time. It was just kind of like to know that it exists is just fun. Like I don't think I would actually listen to it, but I'm kind of like sorta happy that it just happened.
Now, there is some tragedy behind the Turtles.
Oh,
In that it was such a huge success, it pretty much demolished the friendship between Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman,
right.
and
Really?
they don't speak today.
I was wondering about that
Wow,
actually.
the feud was that bad?
Well, basically, Peter Laird walked away. He sold his share of the Turtles to Kevin Eastman. Kevin Eastman is in sole control of the IP. However, he still, in honor of their friendship, he still brings Peter in as a consultant. And
That is interesting.
That's good
Yeah.
that he does that.
But in the documentary, The Toys That Made Us, Peter Laird really has nothing good to say about what they created.
Wow.
It's
That's
kind
a
of sad.
tragedy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It is sad.
I saw, so I believe the documentary I have is called Turtle Power, and it just kind of documents from start to where it wound up after the movies, like the first, I guess it was the first 3 movies, and that's pretty much where it teeters off. But it's interesting that you say that because 03 TMNT was like headed up by Peter Laird, so that's a very interesting collaboration there.
Yeah, well, I think it was in name only.
Oh, okay, wait, what?
I have a feeling that his production credit was name only.
No.
Are you
He
sure?
actually he went through the character models to make sure they were all right. Like he was
Okay.
like
So
was
the
like
split
the-
must have happened later.
it must have been after 03 because he like Kevin Eastman wasn't even barely mentioned on that show.
That's homework for another day. That's definitely something else to get into. But I know that they split over it, and Kevin Eastman is the sole owner of the IP today.
Oh, man.
And
Wow.
yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. But anyway, there's so many comments that we just do not have time to get to. I am sorry for everyone. This is maybe the most commented episode we've ever had, Willow.
Wow.
I think so.
Turtle
That,
power.
that's saying something.
Yeah, well, it's turtle power, like Kate just
It
said.
is.
Yeah.
It's been
Yeah.
around for 40 years,
So Ryan, in short,
which is
to
crazy.
kind of recap, you're not a fan of the 87 cartoon series, but you are a fan of the later iterations of the turtle properties. Is that fair to say?
After watching the first 5 episodes of this 87 series to get ready for this show, the animated series trails off towards the end. So yeah, not really a big fan of the animated series nowadays. But the original live action movies from the 90s, yes, there were 3 of them, not just 2. I know the third one is
I had
bad.
no idea.
I get it.
Look,
but
It had its moments where it was good.
I
Okay,
get it that the third movie
Yes,
is bad. The first
the
2 are
best part-
masterpieces. The third one trails off. But you know what? It's a trilogy. It matters. It means something to me.
But the best
So,
parts of the third movie were with Casey Jones, and he was in there for like 8 minutes.
More like 2 minutes. But
Wait,
anyway.
wait, which one was Kevin Nash in?
That was part 2, and I've had the pleasure of meeting Super Shredder himself, Kevin Nash, at a Comic-Con. He signed my Super Shredder Funko Pop. I just don't have it to show on camera at this point. But anyway, to answer the question, Johnny, because I know I'm going off the rails as I tend to do once in a blue moon. Not so much a fan of the 87 series. Love the original Ninja Turtles trilogy. Like the 2007 animated film. That's a good one too. Pick that up on DVD if you can. And I was okay with the first produced Michael Bay film. I like the first one. It's fine. It's not great, but it's fine. And then the second one is a piece of hot garbage.
See,
So
I like the second one more.
No, the second one's garbage to me.
See,
but
Johnny,
I
if
have
you
a
like the
love-hate
second one-
relationship. I have a love-hate relationship with the TMNT property, but you know what? Comics are decent. The 2 live-action movies are fantastic masterpieces. So yeah, the 1990 film, I can watch it all day long. And the 1990 TMNT film is one of the most accurate comic book movie adaptations of all time.
Really?
Yes.
Well, maybe I need to watch it then.
Yes.
Oh, you
the
do.
First one is so accurate to the comics. It's
Because I will assert, I maintain that the most perfect comic book to film adaptation is The Phantom with Billy Zane.
Okay.
great. That's a good pick too. I love that
Perfect. It's perfect. After that, The Rocketeer.
I love that movie.
Yeah, both of them perfect translations. But if you're saying, Ryan, that the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie is a perfect comic to film adaptation, I need to go watch it just to be able to count that in the canon.
Well, the good news is all 3 movies are streaming for free on Tubi, Tubi. It's a streaming app. You can put it on your phone, put it on your smart TV, like I do, and
Not
you
a
can stream all
sponsor.
3. You can stream all 3 movies to your heart's content. # not a sponsor. You're welcome, Johnny.
Yeah, and Dave Mattingly agrees that The Phantom and Rocketeer are both incredible
They're
adaptations.
good. They're good.
And we could talk about those deserving sequels and
Mhm.
additional entries in the franchise, but we're not going to today because we're out of time.
I'm with
Maybe
you.
when we finally get to the Phantom Future cartoon.
Well, I'll tell you what, we will bring up the Phantom when we do our next series, the Saturday Matinee Movie Series.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I will say, out of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Yes.
the comics, the Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers team up, awesome.
One of the best.
I did love The Last Ronin.
Mhm.
Not only was it a great Ninja Turtle story, this was for 2022 in my opinion, the best comic book story that came out in 2022.
Loved it.
It was phenomenal.
Mhm.
So check that out. But
Cover that one.
Cade, last thoughts on 87.
Well, real quick, I got to ask you.
Okay.
Now, this is a silly question, but Johnny, are you a fan of Batman the Animated Series?
I am.
Okay. Well, then you need to check out the 2012 TMNT crossover with
I
Batman
have
the
it.
Animated Series. Okay. Okay. See, I didn't know.
I have it. And you know what? I've got it on Blu-ray. And do
Oh,
you
no,
know
no, no,
what?
no, no. That's the Okay.
Oh, you're
no,
talking
that's...
about the comic series.
There's a comic.
I have it. I have the graphic novels. Yeah, they were great. They were
No,
great.
no, there's a comic with the animated Batman.
Yeah, I know. I've got it. I've got
Oh,
the
okay.
trade. Yeah.
I thought you meant the crossover
read
they
that.
did with the comic Batman.
No,
I'm
I've
gonna have
got
to raid my comic book shop.
I gotta read these too, Cade.
because that Batman the animated series, and it was basically Batman the animated series and the 87 Turtles crossover in comic book form. Yeah, I've got it. And I
Very
read it.
good.
But the movie, and Dave Mattingly had mentioned this, the Batman Ninja Turtles movie crossover was spectacular.
I gotta watch that. I haven't
I
seen
do
it.
have that one, and there's one scene in particular where they kill the world's greatest dad, and that made me cry. But we'll get on that some other time. So, final thoughts. I love the show because of the wholesome charm. It's not like it's genuinely not my favorite adaptation of TMNT, but I love it for its charm. It's like it's where it all originated. So for me, it's like it can't be. It's a part of the fandom of Turtles, and I love every aspect of it because
Well,
of
it's
that.
where it all started, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think I like 03 better. I like the movies better, but the 87 show, like you said, it's where it all began. So it's the heart of the Turtles for me. That's where it all came from.
Now, Willow, I didn't even ask you this, but did you watch this series when it was originally on air?
Yes, I did. I watched it religiously.
And as
Awesome.
as a piece of Turtles, history,
She was
where
OCD
do you
about the show.
where do you rank it in the canon of Turtles history?
Well, okay, so after reading the comic books, they definitely missed a lot. Like, I don't know. It was a good start to get people into the Ninja Turtles, and then as we grew older and realized, hey, there's comic books, and how serious the comic books are, it was a whole different world reading the comic books, going from the cartoons.
So is it fair to say that you're a bigger fan of the comic series than the
I think so.
TV shows and movies?
Oh, absolutely, because there's something about magical about reading and letting your imagination fly when it comes to reading the graphic novels and comic books, and then letting someone else tell the story and screwing up the characters completely.
So we could do a whole episode about fan expectation versus delivery. But you know what? Dave Mattingly just blew my mind in the comments. He says the TMNT daily comic strip was quite good. What? I had no idea there was a newspaper strip. Did you guys know this?
No.
I actually did not know.
Mine is blown. Had no idea.
Now we have to go search that out. I'm sure it's in a bound edition, a collected edition somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Double check Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh
Amazon,
my gosh.
Local comic shops. Who knows?
So much. And still, we've only scratched the surface.
I know.
But I think the best part of the 87 show really was Hamato Yoshi kind of like sacrificing his own humanity for his family, like keeping that all together. Because like that's where I see the heart. It's like it makes the rest of the show that much better. It's just like that's the reason you come back for more.
Yeah. You guys may have, just with your enthusiasm, you may have made me want to go back and immerse myself into the TMNT lore a little bit deeper.
Well, there is one thing I need to bring to your attention, Johnny.
What's that?
Well, you had led with the fact that the Turtles are ridiculous, and you're not wrong.
Right.
I mean, you remember how it was kind of like a parody of Daredevil and such?
Yep.
Well, the whole concept was a joke.
That's right. It was playing off of, Daredevil's origin and the X-Men.
No, even before that, Peter Laird was drawing with Kevin Eastman separately and presented him for Turtles with ninja weapons as a joke.
Right.
Because
remember
ninjas
that
are not
from the
fast.
documentary. Yeah.
So
well, that's not true, though. Oh my God! If you've ever been chased by a turtle, holy crap! They can
did
move.
I say ninjas aren't? I meant turtles aren't fast.
I meant turtle. Yeah. If you've ever been chased by a turtle, they can move.
They can move pretty fast.
Well, they're known as slow, like Cecil from Looney Tunes.
It depends on how big they are. I think the bigger they are,
I think the concept was like, well, turtles are known for being slow and ninjas are known for being fast, so let's combine the two.
Well, and that was part of my thought when they debuted. I was like, this is ridiculous. Turtles can't be ninjas. They're
Right. And then the whole first issue was just like, let's just publish this and see what happens. And then it took off, and here we are. Turtle Mania.
Still going strong 40 years later, which is insane.
So Sherry, and I'm going to mispronounce her name, Sherry Edgin?
Yep.
So glad to see you, Cartoon Commotion. Always love your show. It is great. It's on the Cereal Box Network.
Yes, it is.
You are always so knowledgeable about your stuff. Spot on with your information about the Turtles. See, and this is the one time, Sherry, that Johnny has no clue what we're talking about.
Yep.
Usually I am the expert on the subject, but that's why I brought in Cade and Ryan. And, of course, I had no idea that Willow was such a big Ninja Turtles fan.
OCD about turtles, like OCD.
Well, Willow, Ryan, and I are just giving you a little help here, Johnny.
I love it. I love it. Love it. Well, so I think that's it. I think that's all I have. Now, we did forget to run something. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to run this quick spot for our charity partner, comic books for kids. We've been talking about comic books with the Ninja Turtles so much, and these guys do an amazing job. They've got a great mission. Check it out.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit cb4k.org.
They're an awesome organization, and they are the official charity that Cereal Box Network and the Multiverse Fundraiser will be supporting throughout the rest of this year and through the fundraiser in January. So check them out and support their mission. Well, guys, it's time to go. We're way over time. An hour is just not long enough. But
never is.
And Kate and I was talking about that in chat this week, how there's so much info that we can dissect that there's never enough time. We could talk about this for 4 hours, but I've got to get to the comic book shop. We've got lives to live. I've got to train tour guides tonight. It's a thing. So Willow, everyone can follow, find, and support you at Willow Schuyler. But what's coming up tomorrow night on Cryptid Crunch?
All right, so tomorrow night on Cryptid Crunch, if you guys happen to be art snobs, there's art that depicts time travel, apparently. There's, a painting of people using laptops, cell phones, even a kid wearing Nike shoes out there. So
really,
me and Kayla are gonna decipher or put our own spin on these art pieces and figure out for ourselves if time travel actually happens.
That's awesome.
I love time travel.
I'm obsessed with time travel. If I weren't doing a tour tomorrow night, Willow, I would be there with you. But
Back to the Future, anybody? That's time travel.
I can hear the jingle now.
But it's not the best time travel movie.
That's controversial right there.
No, it's not. No, it's not. The best time travel movie is Time After Time.
Oh.
You've never seen it, Ryan.
Hey, Time Cop was really good.
No.
I wouldn't put it as the Mount Rushmore of time travel movies, but Time Cop has its charm.
Wait, have any of you ever seen the DreamWorks movie called Peabody and Sherman?
No,
yes.
thank you.
Yes, it was awesome. But no, Time After Time. Check this out. Jack the Ripper steals H.G. Wells' time machine and travels from Victorian England to 1993 or 1983 America.
I'll look that up.
And H.G. Wells has to pursue him and stop him from a new murder spree in contemporary America.
That's a lot like H.G. Wells in the Superman show. It was Lois and Clark.
Gee, I wonder where Lois and Clark got that idea.
Oh my! Okay, that's interesting.
It wasn't even the 80s. It was the late 70s. Late 70s.
Fun facts.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. So, Cade, you are the host of Cartoon Commotion. Check this out.
Hiya, friends. Glad you could join the commotion. Cartoon Commotion. I'm Cade, and this is my pet pig, Jiggy. We rewind to the good old days of tunes for a new perspective nowadays. You can see all of our upcoming live streams and set reminders so YouTube can send you a beep boop notification when we're going live. There's even a chat so you can be part of the conversation. For the first 5 episodes, we'll be going over Gem and the Holograms, Top Cat, The Tick, The Real Ghostbusters, and G.I. Joe. And of course, there's more in the works where that came from. But I'm sure you still have one burning question, one inquisition that needs to be revealed. Why did I name him Jiggy? Well,
let's go back in time. We can just hit rewind. What a terrific notion. It's Cartoon Commotion.
Raising the bar.
Oh, thank you, Johnny.
Cade, what's coming up next on Cartoon Commotion?
On June 17th, we're going to do Top Cat at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then on June 24th, we're going to do The Tick. And these are cartoon discussions with deep analysis. So you're going to have a lot of depth that I bring to the table. That's the whole
The
point.
Tick one sounds amazing.
The Tick. Everybody's excited for The Tick.
You are a cartoon archaeologist.
Thank you so much. You gave me the title, and I appreciate it. I accept it as my badge of honor.
And Ryan, folks can follow you at Ryan RPM5 all over the net. What do you have coming up on Nerd Culture and I quote?
Boy, what do we don't have? The question is, what do we not have coming up on this wonderful channel of mine that I run so beautifully?
Immediately.
Yeah, but here's the thing. On Sunday, tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to do a 30th anniversary celebration of Jurassic Park. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that movie. It's only been around for over 3 decades. We're going to celebrate that with a watch along, and then Monday night we're going to do a discussion on what you consider to be a perfect movie.
And I'm going to be joining you for that one.
Johnny's going to be on that. We have some other great guests that are going to be joining us on that. That's going to be Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on our Facebook, YouTube, and our social media channels. So that's coming up. And I quote-wise, I got some good interviews coming your way very soon. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm also going to be on the road going to conventions with some of our friends, former colleagues of Nerd Culture. We're going to be at Shore Leave July 7th through the 9th in Hunt Valley, Maryland. That's going to be a lot of fun. So join us. Be there. Comic-Cons are the best thing since sliced bread. You know you want to. And it was fun being here. I wanted to say thank you for having me on this show. I look forward to coming back again real soon. And Cade, welcome to the Big Kids Table. Welcome to the Cool Kids Club. You made it. Congratulations. And it's great to have you here, man. You and I haven't talked in like 60 years, and this is the first time you and I have been in the same set together for a long time. So good to be here.
Wait, do you think non-linearly too? I thought I was the only one that couldn't process time.
No, I don't think any of us can process time because time moves so quickly. But you know what? This was fun. And Willow, you're awesome. Johnny, you're a fountain of knowledge, but we just taught you the greatness that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so you're welcome.
I love it.
Turtle mania.
In the words of our good friends, the Heroes in a Half Shell, cowabunga, dudes.
Cowabunga.
So, Sherry asks a very important question. She says, Johnny, will Cade be on with you again? If so, when? I will watch. Well, it just so happens that Cade will be joining Willow again next Saturday with Dave Mattingly, George Bueller is going to join us from Fanatic Forum, and they are going to be talking about Chuck Norris versus Mr. T.
And 80s Showdown.
This is going to be so much fun.
Wow, I didn't even really get to think, but okay.
Yeah. And so next Saturday, and I will be at Superman Celebration in Metropolis, Illinois with Dee Barty. And by the way, Dee Barty this morning is at New Wave Comics and Collectibles, and she is filming live interviews and live segments with the staff of the comic shop as we speak. So look out for that later on today or tomorrow. And we'll be together live at Superman Celebration next Saturday doing the same thing. We'll be filming pre-recorded segments that we'll distribute throughout the week. So little changes to the show that are going to edge us up. And then the big day, July 8th. July 8th is the debut of Back of the Cereal Box Saturday matinee at the Palace Theater in Gallatin, Tennessee. Live on stage in front of 500 people in the audience. Think Prairie Home Companion meets Regis and Kathy Lee meets Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Ooh, that's exciting.
In front of a live audience. That is exciting.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Congratulations on that.
And we're going to have some guest stars, maybe hey, Dave, I had you on the mind because you've been commenting. Next Saturday, he'll be at Wonderfest. But George Bueller will be with Cade and Willow to talk Chuck Norris versus Mr. T.
Chuck Norris wins that fight every time.
Well,
in name alone.
No, I think in reality he would win. Hands down.
I mean, like he beats him just because his name is Chuck Norris. But the challenge is the physical limitations of Chuck Norris versus Mr. T. Now, I've been watching the show pretty faithfully.
All right, so save it.
I will.
Save it till next week. All of you watching, if you love what we do, you can support the show a couple of different ways. Like, comment, share this wherever you're watching. And of course, subscribe on whatever platform you're watching. Click the notification bell so that you'll never miss an episode. But more importantly, you can support us financially at buymeacoffee.com/cerealboxpod. Buymeacoffee.com. And your contribution helps us keep the show going. It helps us improve it. And if you hate the show, donate even more generously so that we can improve it just for you. That would be awesome. Well, guys and gals, that is it for this episode. We got to say farewell. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, bonjour. Until the next time, love you, mean it. And we'll catch you on the back of the cereal box.